Hey, beautiful souls. Welcome back to Ever Revenge, where heartbreak turns into your ultimate glow-up. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button right now and join our revenge-ready family. We're this close to smashing 1K subscribers, and I need you to help make it happen. Imagine more epic tales of triumph, whispered secrets of strength, and stories that hit you right in the feels. Your sub isn't just a click. It's the spark that lights up someone else's comeback. And hey, stick around for the full ride on this one. Don't scroll away. Let it sink in, let it heal you. Because today's story, it's raw, it's real, and it's about to remind you. Betrayal doesn't break you. It builds you. Ready? Let's dive in. Transition with a heartbeat sound effect. Screen fades to a rainy window pane for that emotional pull. They betrayed me together, but I returned alone, stronger than ever. The rain-slicked streets of Seattle gleamed under the sodium lamps like forgotten promises, and that's where it all began for Elena and Alex. On a corner cafe patio, steam rising from mismatched mugs of coffee that tasted like home. It was a Tuesday in late autumn, the kind where the world feels small and safe. Elena, with her wild chestnut curls tied back in a careless knot and paint flecks still dotting her knuckles from her latest canvas, laughed as Alex traced the rim of his cup with a finger that later that night would weave through her hair. "You're my chaos," he'd murmured, eyes the color of storm-tossed waves locking onto hers. "And I wouldn't trade it for anything tidy." Their love wasn't the fireworks kind. No, it was the slow burn of shared silences in her tiny studio apartment, where canvases leaned like drunken soldiers against the walls. Alex, a rising architect with blueprints that dreamed of sustainable skylines, would sketch while she painted, their worlds colliding in strokes of charcoal and cobalt blue. They'd dance to vinyl records scratching out old jazz, his hands on the small of her back guiding her through dips that left her breathless. "Marry me someday," he'd whisper against her temple during those feverish nights, bodies tangled in sheets that smelled of turpentine and his cedar cologne. Elena would smile, heart swelling like a summer rose, and reply, "Only if you promise to build me a house with a studio that catches the dawn." It was real, visceral. The way he'd surprise her with wildflowers pilfered from construction sites, or how she'd leave notes in his lunch bag quoting Rumi, "The wound is the place where the light enters you." Mia was the thread that wove them tighter, or so Elena thought. Her best friend since art school days, with porcelain skin and laughter like wind chimes, Mia had been the maid of honor in every daydreamed wedding. They'd braid each other's hair on rainy Sundays, spilling secrets over chamomile tea. Elena confessing her fears of never being enough for Alex's ambitious world, Mia nodding with eyes that sparkled like she understood the ache. "You're a masterpiece, Elle," Mia would say, squeezing her hand. "He sees it. We all do." The three of them were unbreakable. Weekend hikes up to hidden waterfalls, where Alex would hoist Mia over slippery rocks while Elena snapped photos, their echoes mingling with the cascade's roar. It felt like family, the kind forged in fire and paint thinner. But fire has a way of turning on you. It was a crisp December evening, strings of fairy lights twinkling mockingly outside the holiday market, when the world cracked open. Elena had finished a commission early, a mural of intertwined vines for a local gallery, and rushed home with a bottle of Pinot Noir, imagining Alex's grin when she told him about the solo exhibit offer that had just landed in her inbox. The apartment door creaked open to the scent of jasmine candles, Mia's favorite, flickering shadows across the living room. And there, on the rug they'd picked out together during a flea market binge, were Alex and Mia. Not fighting, not laughing, entangled, lips bruised from urgency, clothes a hasty discard like shed skin. Time fractured. Elena's bottle slipped from numb fingers, shattering against the hardwood in a crimson spray that mirrored the tear streaking her cheek. "How long?" she choked, voice a stranger's rasp. Alex bolted upright, sheets pooling like accusations, his face crumpling into something grotesque, regret laced with defiance. "Elle, it's not. God, Mia, say something." But Mia only pulled the blanket higher, her eyes, those wind chime eyes, darting away, guilty and unrepentant. "We didn't mean for you to find out like this," she whispered, as if that softened the blade. Turns out, it had started months ago, In the quiet gaps Elena filled with deadlines. Stolen glances during group dinners, late-night work sessions, at Alex's office that dissolved into hotel rooms. They'd mocked her dreams in pillow talk. Her frivolous art, her vulnerability, turning her love into their punchline. The betrayal hollowed her. Nights blurred into weeks of salt-streaked pillows. The studio a tomb where brushes lay dormant like betrayed soldiers. Elena wandered Seattle's fog-shrouded alleys, rain soaking through her coat as sobs racked her frame, each step a echo of what-ifs. Why wasn't she enough? The heartbreak was a physical beast, clawing at her ribs, stealing sleep and savoring solitude. Friends tiptoed around her, offering platitudes that tasted like ash. She quit eating, her reflection a ghost with hollow cheeks and eyes like bruised plums. One dawn, staring at the sound's restless waves from her fire escape, she whispered to the empty air, "I can't let them win." It wasn't rage that saved her. It was a flicker, a defiant spark amid the ruins. Rebirth came in fragments. She enrolled in a pottery class on a whim, hands sinking into cool clay that demanded she mold without apology. There, amid the wheel's hypnotic hum, she met Luca. Not a savior, but a quiet witness with calloused palms from guitar strings and a smile that crinkled like aged paper. No grand gestures, just shared silences over misshapen mugs. His stories of lost melodies weaving with her tales of fractured colors. Romance bloomed tentative, like crocuses pushing through frost. A walk along the waterfront where he held her hand without possession, letting her lead. "Strength isn't absence of pain," he'd say, thumb brushing her knuckles. "It's carrying it like a lantern." Heartfelt nights followed, not frantic but sacred. Luca reading her poetry by candlelight, her head in his lap, tears falling not from sorrow but release. Challenges lingered, panic attacks that gripped like vices during exhibit openings, doubts that whispered you're still broken. But Luca stayed, a steady orbit, teaching her love could be gentle, earned, not owed. The return was her masterpiece. 6 months later, the gallery's spring showcase buzzed with Seattle's elite, fairy lights now allies in her glow. Elena arrived alone, in a gown of emerald silk that hugged curves reclaimed through midnight runs and therapies unburdening. Heads turned as she unveiled her new series. Wounds woven, canvases of jagged gold threads mending shattered forms, inspired by kintsugi, the Japanese art of embracing breakage. Whispers rippled. "That's Elena Voss. She looks radiant." And there they were, Alex and Mia, arm in arm near the wine bar, their facade cracking at her approach. Alex's jaw slackened, eyes tracing her poise like a blueprint gone awry. "L.U. This is incredible." Mia forced a smile, brittle as autumn leaves. "We should have come sooner." But Elena didn't flinch. She met their gaze with eyes forged in fire. Not vengeful, but unyielding. "I built this from the shards you left," she said, voice steady as the clay she'd shaped. "And darling, I don't need your applause." She turned, Luca's hand warm in hers, leaving them to their hollow echoes. Revenge wasn't destruction. It was her thriving, a love letter to the woman they'd tried to erase. As the crowd applauded, Elena felt it. Not just survival but sovereignty. Betrayed together they faded. She returned alone, but oh how she shone. Stronger. Whole. Unstoppably hers. Thank you for letting this journey wrap around your heart. Stories like Elena's remind us that our deepest scars often birth our brightest light. If this touched you, beautiful viewer, please subscribe to Ever Revenge for more soul-stirring tales of redemption and revenge that heal as they empower. Your support means the world. Hit that button, turn on notifications, and let's build this community together. Until next time, remember, you're stronger than their worst day. Shine on.